was going to start with my intro, but I didn't want to scare any first-time viewers and burst into my very boisterous intro. And as my morning started off today, I wondered, should I do my show, which is standard? For those that usually watch, you're noticing I'm going a little live a little bit later today, actually a fair amount later. I haven't gone this late since, I don't know, maybe 2 years. Not too cold. And I assumed that meant limited slip or driver safety or be careful on icy roads. And either way, I'm going, well, it just snowed. Why is it off? And looked around, played with the various things I have. I'm not one to really read instructions a whole heck of a lot. I know. Read your owner's manual front to finish as soon as you get the car. Or you just hop in and turn the key and go. But anyway, I fortunately did eventually find a button that had a similar drawing on it. The car with the swervy lanes. that said off underneath it, and I pushed it, and that little light went off, and that makes me feel better. Now I will feel safer driving down the road today. How are you? So cool. I'm all, yeah. Good morning, Hank Hoover. Thanks, Tanya. It is pretty. It is pretty. I give off youth pastor vibes. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Good morning, Lisa Strong. How are you? How are you? Let's see. Let us see. I'm just seeing who's hopping on today. What type of audience we're going to get on at 8 o'clock in the morning. And thank you, Patrick Riley. I appreciate that. Hello, Aaron Akampora. How are you? But anyway, this is a show I've done for a long time. And it is a show about me talking. It has a show about me sharing some feelings, sharing some ups and downs, sharing a little bit about life. Had a great day yesterday, but still kind of woke during the night feeling a little bit out of sorts and struggling mentally and thinking about things. And I talk a lot about my mental health and how I've always struggled with anxiety, and that's true. And that's true. But I think I think the biggest issue with me over the last several years hasn't really been one of anxiety. It's one of relationship issues. Then my brother, who was right next to me, was being my brother, and he kept talking. His theory, and I'm not sure, is it's better if you're in a crowded space, really to connect, like our knees were glancing underneath the table, or were rubbing lightly underneath the table just because there was no room. And his theory was, and I'm not sure, was that we're better off like pushing our knees together really firmly. It doesn't have that creepy soft feeling, rather than just having glancing touches of our knees. And I don't know, but that was his theory. And he was talking to the waitress and asking questions of the siblings. And while this was going on, I had Augie have my little cell phone. He had my cell phone, and I put the case on it. And he, he's beautiful. He's my little nugget of love. He's got Down syndrome. He's 3.5. He's working YouTube. There might have been a little bit of a problem with YouTube. So he did what a 3.5-year-old little boy might do, and he threw the phone. And I went, oh. Got it off the floor, and it's got a crack in the top of the screen right up here. And I'm only bringing this up because I don't think you're supposed to bring this stuff up. You're supposed to let it go. But I think I was so impressed with how healthily I handled the stressful situation, the kids doing what little babies do, and my cell phone cracking, all in really, really, really calm stride. And let me tell you, calm stride is not my middle name. I can get agitated. I can get upset. I can get stressed out by family and everybody doing their thing and knees rubbing and phones flying and jelly stickiness on babies and ketchup and crowded spaces. But I managed to keep it together. So despite that my phone does have a crack at the top and little hairline cracks throughout the screen, which I'm not thrilled about, I think what I'm going to take out of this is those cracks will be little fingerprints of Augie, little Augie reminders. And then the other part will be how calmly I handled it. Yeah. It was almost too crowded at the table for our plates. We shouldn't have sat at that table. We should not have sat at that table. Richard Davis wants to know, where have I been? I've been relaxing. I have been relaxing. Almost didn't go live today. That's how relaxed I was. I slept till 6:30. That's how relaxed I was. It felt really good. I'm getting a lot of questions about the car. I'll just round it all up. First of all, this isn't a show about car life or Kia Souls or anything. And I don't care how many people want to know what it's like to live in a car or what it's like living in a Kia Soul or how popular some content creator is in their Kia Soul or how they do it. But I'll just say how you keep warm is you get a sleeping bag, you get a little power station, and you get a little heated blanket, and it's nice and warm and toasty. Coldest day I slept through was 6 degrees, and that was pretty chilly. I had my head under a cover, which kind of yucky feeling because it gets kind of humid. About 5 weeks ago or so, I bought this car and said, heck, twice divorced, I have a lot of financial responsibilities, inconsistent income, and was paying $1,600 a month to stay at an extended stay. And it was kind of okay. It did have a bathtub, it did have a bed, it did have some things you like. But for $1,600 on a limited budget, I was going, wow, that's pretty darn expensive. And I knew I needed a car. And bought this car, bought a Kia Soul, and decided to check it out. And it's been actually not too bad. It really hasn't been. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, you know it's not just a show about me talking. You know it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. Thank you so much for sending me a lightning bolt and a fest burst. Beautiful. Beautiful is one of my most generous viewers. I mean, not to try and make you feel like you need to be generous. I feel like I'm the pastor on stage and drawing attention to one of the people that goes to church and says they're the most generous. And that's probably not right. And I just did it, but I was just giving kudos to Beautiful, because I'm not really a pastor on stage. I'm just a guy sitting in a Kia Soul, holding a cup of coffee, waiting to have a first sip and wanting to acknowledge Beautiful for all the fest bursts and the thank God it's Friday she sent me. What am I up to today, Ella? I don't know right now. Let me get to that. For those that have been watching a while, you know it is not just a show about me talking. You know it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And Hank Hoover sent another fest burst. I don't know what these fest bursts are all about, but I'm appreciative of them. Thank you, Hank Hoover. I'm excited to have my first sip of coffee. I can't tell you the last time in my life my first sip of coffee was 8 o'clock, past 8 o'clock. But we're going to do it today. And my hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. Oh. I walked into Dunkin' Donuts today. You guys that watch every day, you know, the Dunkin' Donuts lady and I like to say, have a thing. We don't really have a thing. We don't really have a thing. But I joke about it. Some people think I'm serious. I mean, I'm sure she's a fine human being. But we just joke through the drive-up. But we saw each other. We shook hands today. There was a long line. I was late getting to my Dunkin' Donuts, so there was a long line. Usually I'm first in line. There is no line. I'm first. And decided not to wait in line. Went in, and there she was behind the counter. I forgot to scan the app, by the way, and I'd already paid, so it was too late to scan the app. So this coffee, this $3.69, isn't getting me the stars or the bonus points or whatever one might get from using the Dunkin' Donuts every day, the app every day. So let's have another sip, though. It will get me this coffee. Oh, wait, I think I saw Hank Hoover says Ken for president. I have a white car. I'd move out of the White House and just live in my white car. Think of the financial savings for the taxpayers. Big Catch Motorsports, follow the live creator. Thank you for doing that, Big Catch Motorsports. And Carol, thank you for sending a heart me. I appreciate that. That's very sweet. An Exotic Traveler sent me, shared a live creator. Speaking of Exotic Traveler, I'm going to just tell this little story. I've been working at a restaurant over the last 6 months, a couple months in Yellowstone, and working out there gave me the confidence to realize I could be a waiter and be paid a fair amount of money, and decided to come back to Naperville to do it, because this is where I'm from and where my kids live and where my friends are and where I love. And I did that about, I don't know, right around August 1st, and have been working at a pretty nice restaurant in Naperville over the last 4 or 5 months. And they're really busy during the summer. They're right on our Riverwalk. They have a big patio. The place is jumping during the summer, but it slows up, like a lot of restaurants do, in fall and winter. But the problem was I was working in fall and winter. And my restaurant was slowing, and they were cutting back their hours and cutting back shifts. And honestly, I didn't feel they need me anymore. So left there last week. And I'd been looking at some other jobs online. And this is going back to Exotic Traveler, by the way. Saw a job for like American Cruise Lines and a server position on American Cruise Lines. And at first I go, hey, that sounds kind of cool. Yellowstone was lonely for me. Yellowstone was lonely for me. It was beautiful, but it was an interesting experience working in Yellowstone for a few months and seeing bears and seeing mule and seeing mountains and all sorts of cool stuff. But so I applied online, and they reached out. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I mean, it sounds kind of fun traveling, but the thing that gives me the most peace of heart, and it would provide a roof over my head. So as a twice divorced guy, waiting tables and having a roof provided is tempting. But the thing that gives me the most happiness, and the most important thing I have to do over the next 30 years as a 56-year-old man, is love the stuffing out of, I'll say out of my two little ones. I've got two big ones, two beautiful girls that still need their dada too. But my little ones, I think, really need their dada. Really need their dada. And their dada's spirit and joy and smile and friendliness and tickles and pretzels and kisses and love that their dada gives them. And if I, despite the temptation going, hey, it'd be interesting riding on a boat through the Mississippi River or up and down the Mississippi or wherever they go, and waiting tables on a paddle boat. My kids need me. Kids need me. And I was lucky to be able to hang out with them all day yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone wants to see what they look like? I posted it on my Facebook page, the video of them. Their cousin, they were with a bunch of cousins. It's funny because, they're the youngest of the group and they have a lot of cousins, but most of them are, 15 to 30. And they're just little babies. They're just little babies, but they're cousins. It seems like they should be aunts or uncles, but they're not. C. James wants to ask if I've ever heard of Ottawa, Illinois. Yes. Yes. I have heard of Ottawa, Illinois. Hank Hoover said he is with his brother Pete. Hello, Pete. And hello, Hank. Yeah, are watching. But yeah, I've heard of Ottawa, Illinois. I'm not sure why you ask, C. James. Do you want to talk about Ottawa? We could. I've been to Ottawa. I'm not that familiar. Is that where Starved Rock is? I think that's where Starved Rock is. Hello, Mauricio Ribeiro from Brazil. Tanya says, my daughter is 29 and she is my one and only. I don't know if she needs me, but I need her. I'm sure she needs you, Tanya. And I'm sure she's lucky to have you in her life. Hello, Curly. How are you? I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name correctly. Cara Lee. I don't know. It looks like a woman, and I called her Curly, like the guy from Three Stooges. Oh, Hank Hoover followed the live creator. Where am I from, Mauricio? I'm from outside of Chicago. I am... Does Mauricio from Brazil want to see a little snow? We just got a little snow, Mauricio. I'm from outside of Chicago, and you in Brazil. It's probably summer there, and you're probably getting ready for Rio and parties on the beaches. I'll give you a 360 spin. This is where I am. To think I left the beauty that is Yellowstone for the hustle and bustle of Naperville and the Dunkin' Donuts. I am telling you, for anybody out there that thinks, oh, Yellowstone, I'd love to live in Yellowstone. Nice place to visit. Nice place to visit. Carl said, what did my coffee cost? You have $3.20 and change, and you need one now, too. Well, this coffee, I believe, costs $3.69. Hello, Frozen Land 67. How are you? Jen says the snow wasn't as pretty. Well, it's just kind of pretty right now. Yeah, it's a wettish snow. And it's still on the trees. And the sunlight is just coming up above the clouds. And most of the snow is going to fall off during the day. And yeah, it's just real pretty when the snow is in the trees. And all the branches are kind of lit up, if you will. And again, I had a guy hop on from Brazil, so I thought I'd show him what it looked like here. Let's have a little more coffee. Never been to Brazil. I think I'd like to check out South America. I'm not a huge need to travel guy, which maybe is why I don't want to, one of the many reasons I don't want to take the job on a cruise ship. But I'm not sure I want to wait tables anymore. Here's my thought on waiting tables. I think I'm an incredible waiter. I think I am. I think when customers come in to my restaurant, whatever restaurant I am working at, they have the best time with me as a waiter at their table. I'm sure there's other good ones, and I'm sure some are faster and more efficient and more perfect and funny as well. So I'm sure I'm not the best one in the world. But I'm pretty darn good, I know that. But what I kind of realized, and I felt this at Target, and I felt this at both restaurants, the managers of the restaurants, I don't think care a whole lot. They don't own the restaurant. And no matter how wonderful you are as a server, you're not going to drive traffic to a restaurant, really. If the people don't like the food or don't like the whatever drinks or this atmosphere. And yeah, I know it's a component to the atmosphere. But I saw it when I was in Yellowstone. You know, they let a bunch of the servers go that I worked with. Kids being dumb, missing shifts, showing up late consistently, not calling in, not saying they're coming, missing shifts. Hello, go to work. If you got a job, you better go. The boss is going to be mad if you don't. But anyway, so they let a bunch of people go, and they just brought in new people from all over the world. We had these girls from Spain, and we had a guy from Guatemala, and some people from Eastern Europe just come and fill the spots. And for me, as a guy that kind of started there with them, I felt like our team just got dismembered and they replaced us. And they didn't even replace me. They replaced half of the team, and I almost hurt my feelings. And maybe as a server or as a waiter, and there's a lot of turnover in that career, a lot of people bouncing around and whatever. Maybe that's just the way it is. Maybe that's just the way it is. And the managers don't want to get too attached to any server. Can't care too much because they know that server might go back to school or find another job or this or that or be gone too quickly. Somebody asked if I recommended marriage. Somebody asked if I recommended marriage. Do I recommend marriage? Yeah. I'm hopeful. I believe in marriage. It's hard to say. I mean, I'm twice divorced. So, I think a good marriage would be an incredible thing. And for a good marriage to exist, you need, I don't know, two healthy people or maybe two people on the same page coming together, deciding to make it work. And I'll just speak for me. Maybe I wasn't healthy enough or agreed enough. To make it work. I don't know. But do I recommend marriage? Sure, I think it'd be ideal to have kids and be married and stay together. You know, I think that'd be a perfect situation. I know it doesn't happen. I know it hasn't happened for me. And, but even twice divorced, I don't think I'd give up entirely with the concept of being married again. Yeah, I'm going to buy a house here sooner than later. And I don't know. It'd be nice to share it with somebody. Hello, Chris. How are you? Mauricio, when he goes to the U.S., he goes to the Cheesecake Restaurant. Do you mean the Cheesecake Factory? Maybe Eli's Cheesecake in New York? I don't even know if that's a restaurant, but I think it's in New York. If I owned Eli's Cheesecake, I'd probably open a restaurant in New York. If I was in New York, but I'm not sure. Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, we used to have them. There was one downtown Chicago. There still might be one in downtown Chicago. Do they still exist? The Cheesecake Factory? Or did that chain go under? Is there still one in Oak Brook? Texas Red wants to know if I sold my scooter. No, I'm keeping it in storage. Beautiful, went the other day. Oh, okay. It's been a long time. I used to live downtown, and I think we used to go occasionally, and I think it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Huh. But, yeah. So I don't know what I have for you today. I don't know what I have for you today. But I'm looking forward to my day. And I might keep talking. I'm not saying I'm signing off. So don't all of you go about your business. Don't all of you leave me all at once. Because I might come up with some other things to talk about or just sit in my coffee for a little bit. There was another thought I had. I mean, I had plenty of thoughts. Thank you. Somebody said it's the best. I'm not sure they're saying Coffee with Ken is the best show on TikTok. But I'm going to assume since you said it on my show, best show on TikTok, with exclamation points, had it been a question mark, it would have been totally different. So if you're going to say on my show, best show on TikTok with exclamation points, I got to take that as a compliment. So I will say thank you to you. Starbucks or Dunkin'? I have a viewer that might work at Starbucks. A woman I know works at Starbucks that was watching a little bit ago. I start my mornings at Dunkin' Donuts for whatever reason. Oh, look at that hat and mustache. Hey, thank you so much, Joe, for sending me a mustache. How many college degrees do I have? How many do you want? One of the questions my brother was asking my niece, she's only a freshman in college. I kind of thought it was a little pushy on his part. He was kind of engaging in a debate about the merits of going to college and with her, and kind of, I think he's trying to maybe be a fill-in father figure just because my sister is also divorced and maybe trying to provide some wisdom or guidance. He provides it in a different way than I do. I try and encourage and cheer on, and he wants to talk it out. And either way, yeah. And she was discussing her plans for the future, and I'm thinking she's a freshman in high school. How many plans for the future can she really have? Yeah, she's just a kid. But anyway, she wasn't so sure she wanted to go to college. My brother thought it was very important. And unless you're in the military or a trade. And I'm not sure how I think. I went to college. I have one degree, only one, from the University of Illinois, a bachelor's of finance. And I did that for a while and didn't really pursue finance. I was more in the sales side of finance. And for some reason, I think I want to fix, save, change the world. And I only thought I was using the world for what the world could provide me in most of my professions I've ever had. And I don't want to feel like I'm using the world. I want to contribute. I only got 30 years left on this planet. And like I said, I think the biggest difference I can make is in those two beautiful babies' lives going forward. And yeah. And I didn't feel I was doing it in finance at all. Hey, Yala Peru, thank you so much for following the live creator. I so appreciate you. So thank you for that. I appreciate anybody that follows the live creator. This morning, I got some important things I need to take care of. And so when I woke up, I was going, active mind, talking on a live show, getting a million different people commenting about different things. Maybe it's making my mind race a little too much. Maybe I can focus on what I need to get done later today and do the best I can. And I was fortunate and able to get a little more sleep, and woke up and felt kind of relaxed, but felt I needed some coffee. And thought maybe an 8 o'clock show would be fun. And not having to use the light in my car or what have you. Good morning, Captain Kenny. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you drive safely, you November 19th born Kenny. Oh, well, thank you, Jeannie. Thank you for listening. I hope you follow my page. I don't know if you've watched before. Oh, I say you're saying that because I went on late today. Yeah, in a perfect world, I'd sleep in every morning while I can and go live at 8. Feels good. Somebody asked if I ever could go live. And I don't think they meant it in a hurtful way. If I could go live without video. As if the mere presence of my face caused them distress. I don't think they meant that, but it was kind of funny. Why am I on late this morning? I was able to sleep in. I wasn't going to go. I woke up stressed about some things during the night. I thought about a bunch of different things, and about one of the biggest issues in my mental health was my holding on to things that should be let go. And there's something very significant in my life that I've had a hard time letting go. And, yeah, that I've had a really hard time letting go. And if you watch this show for a while, yeah. And I'm working through it. And I found a way to be okay with everything last night. And I was able to fall back off of sleep. And I woke up feeling kind of relaxed, not in a hurry to get up and, I have something to do important at 12, but, other than get ready for my 12 o'clock, I don't have a ton going on this morning, and that's okay. Yeah, and I was able to. So it just felt real nice going on a little later. Hey, somebody from Peru hopped on. Thank you. Things are always worse at night. Yeah, because you can't usually do anything about them. You can't really do anything about them. What advice do I have for someone who's anxious? I wonder what level we are all anxious. I know I struggle with anxiety, and I'm afraid of my shadow, and every dental appointment or every meeting or every time I have to make it to, I wonder, am I going to make it? So I know I've struggled with it. There's so many things. When you're anxious, you're thinking about the future, and which means you're not thinking about the moment or living in the moment. I could be worried about what I'm doing today at 12, or I could go, wow, I got a nice hot cup of coffee here, and the snow's falling outside, and it looks beautiful. And I tell you what, you feel so much better. You feel so much better if you're in the moment. Yeah. Oh, that's strange. Anybody else seeing what I'm seeing? You know what's weird? Do I want to talk about this? Yeah. I don't even need to talk about it. I've realized it. Yeah. So I don't need to talk about it. Yeah. Hi, Priscilla Peak. How are you? Oh. Hello, Bobby Joe Baker. Fairly decent audience today. A fairly decent audience today. I wonder if I went live at 8 o'clock, how the audience would be versus 5:30 or 6. I wonder how the audience would be if I went live at 8 versus 5:30 or 6. Poor Highland 517. A woman, I don't even know where she is. It's 8 o'clock is better. Well, Golden Queen, it seems like you copied and pasted a question from somebody else, and that's what confused me. I had 3 people, and this is what I didn't want to talk about, but I'm going to, write the exact same comment. Right, the Highland 517's watching. Okay, there you are. Hi, Highland 517. I was feeling bad because it kept saying they'll lose their subscription benefits soon. There are no benefits to subscription. She was just being kind. And for now, for some reason, it keeps warning that she's going to lose her subscription benefits. But anyway, I got the exact same question, and it was multiple lines with the same punctuation 3 different times from 3 different people. And it had me wondering. It had me wondering. And I saw it happen the other day. I think, maybe I do know, that there's individuals that hop on as many different personalities or many different accounts. So where one can look like 3 or 5 or 10. And I just think that's so weird. So when I got 3 different people, and I put the quotes on it for anyone that can't see me, making the exact same comment, using the exact same, all at the same time, made me realize. But you were one of them, Cake. You were one of them, Golden Queen. Yeah. I don't know, but there's obviously somebody is. They're obviously some. No, they're not just ganging up on me, because I've seen it go the other way. I had somebody defending me viciously, and I was going, wow, there's like 3 or 4 people really taking on these mean comments the other day. I don't know if anyone watches my comments on my screen. But I had 3 or 4 people, I thought, taking on all the mean comments. And I messaged one of them and said, hey, I appreciate it, but I don't want it stressing you out. And they go, hey, it's really, I'm all one person. And then I thought, how stressful that must be. To pretend you're 4 different people. To argue with other people. Or to take on me. Seems like a lot of stress. So if you're out there, creating multiple accounts, I tell you what, any of you out there, if you have multiple accounts, I think that's weird. I don't even care if you're my best friend or best fan. I don't understand the point. My ex-wife used to do that. Had a bunch of different accounts. And I'm going, what are you doing that for? Why do you have multiple different accounts? I'm not saying to provide content. I could see a content creator going, hey, I'm going to do Sober Ken and Divorced Dad Ken and Coffee Ken or whatever. But I mean, as a commenter, to create a bunch of different accounts. And I always thought that was weird. And I used to say, hey, that's what the trolls do. Why are you doing it? Huh. Yeah. Kind of weird. But anyway, it's Friday morning. It is Friday morning. And I appreciate you guys for hopping on today and joining me at 8 o'clock. And being a part of my show. Why, thank you, Captain Kenny. I like you, Captain Kenny. Yeah. You know, I've gone back and forth with that. People say you're doing something right if they're commenting. But again, I see then other viewers, this woman that was creating these fake accounts to argue with these people. I was going, that can't be good for her. That's got to stress her out like nobody's business. And yes, it's not my responsibility to fix, save, change her. But kind of want to. Codependent no more. I was thinking about that earlier today. About the relationship. And what I've been struggling with. And how I refuse to let go. Because of my need to fix, save, change. And how silly that is of me. How silly that is of me. Yeah. Oh, it's 9 o'clock, almost, 8:41. Gonna go to the gym, get a little workout, feel good, go to my 12 o'clock, see what happens there. But the rest of my day is kind of free. And I am feeling good. I'll bet you I find my way to a coffee shop sometime later today. And I'm going to edit some videos. And I'm going to have a productive day. And I'm going to have some peace of mind today knowing that I love this stuffing out of my little babies for, 12 hours yesterday. And that they need their dadda's love. And their dada loves to give it to them because their dada has a whole heck of a lot of love to give. And yeah. Oh, so I want to thank you so much for joining. I want to thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. It is December 20th. Christmas is right around the corner. And yeah, it's a beautiful day. Trees have snow in it. There's snow on the ground. And I'm looking forward to my day. And beautiful, thank you for hopping on today. And thank you all for hopping on today. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you are feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.